Mother speaks. I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary. Well, welcome to Great Mother Speaks. I'm Tammy Taylor, your manifestation muse, and today we're talking about
your Great Mother Speaks March full moon reading. This full moon is in Leo. It is a very powerful full moon. It is the full moon that marks the halfway place of this eclipse season. This is the halfway mark, the pinnacle, the arc, the climax of this season. And we pay attention to the eclipse season here with the lunar readings from Great Mother, our still small voice, that intuition, what we know, because this channel is all about aligning our emotion, that Western astrology, that how we feel energy with the intuitive energy. And in order to do that, we do have to be aware of the difference. So the difference is the emotional heart below energy. That is about survival. That is about the continuum between fear and love, pain and joy. So that kind of relay system from the heart below chakras to the heart above chakras, which are the intuitive realm. It's the realm of the soul. Now, all of our chakras contain the yin and the yang, and so that's what the readings get into. They get into how we are supported energetically throughout these purification seasons, which are what ecliptical seasons are. This one right now with Leo in the North Node and Aquarius in the South Node has to do with following our hearts, that Leo energy, that Great Father energy ruled by the Sun, at the expense or with the group thought as an afterthought. So following one's heart, doing what you want to do first as a priority, and then considering the needs of others is really what this energy is about. It's about us being supported in pursuing what it is our heart, that crossroads between the ego and the soul, wants to do in this lifetime. And so there's been a lot of energy supporting that. Have all of us done a beautiful job at exhibiting that and at communicating that to one another? Perhaps not necessarily, but it's all in divine order, and that's what we focus on here. We focus on our divinity. 3 primary concepts: that we are divine children of the Great Mother, Father, God. The second is that we are therefore never condemned or judged. And finally, we are never left alone. There's always guidance along our path. We use the analogy of the Wizard of Oz to exemplify this. They are black and white cards, symbolizing the yin and the yang, the Great Father energy of the Sun and the Great Mother energy of the Moon, that darkness, that still small voice, that black void of the cosmos, and the Sidereal astrology, which is where Cancer is in the North Node, or Rahu at this time, and Capricorn is in the South. This is very important to know. The Great Mother, Great Father nexus that we're working with is extremely powerful. It has to do with the transition from the Piscean age to the Aquarius age. We are letting go of Aquarius energies that no longer serve us, and we're moving more into Aquarian energies that have to do with personal, individual spiritual expression. And so this ecliptical season is a series of ecliptical seasons that will usher in the Aquarius age in earnest. Great Mother is the Moon, which rules Cancer, the North Node in the Sidereal. The Sidereal astrology is the soul astrology, and this is where you hear me refer to the double houses. So, for example, if you are Leo, then more than likely your sidereal sign is Cancer, unless you're about the 5th of the people that exist that have both. Leo, etc., etc. If you want to double check, be sure to do so at the links below. While you're there, I would also like you to take a look at the Mama Drama Trauma channel. It's just getting up and going. The website is coming soon. But for those of you who are the majority that are here out of the work that I do with Mama Drama Trauma and how Great Mother came through to create this deck and to create this work to heal Mama Drama Trauma. I would really appreciate your critiques and your feedback. The channel and the website that's coming is going to be a resource for you to be able to identify, for you to be able to assess, and to get the materials that you need to support your healing of this condition. Mama Drama Trauma is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and/or physical trauma. In cases where she's unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal, loving detachment is required. Loving detachment is the basis of these readings. And with these readings, we're looking at energies as impersonal energies that support divine beings, our experience. The black and white world of yin and yang is the world of infinite probabilities. It is the world, the source and center of all things. It also symbolizes the farm where Dorothy came from and from which she returned. The yellow brick road, or the rainbow world, technicolor world, is the world of reality and illusion in which we descend into in order to have experiences that evolve our soul. For Mama Drama Trauma, for example, the life lesson for soul evolution is self-love and spiritual independence. Every full moon and new moon is an opportunity to work with energies in order to achieve that here with Great Mother Speaks. For this full moon in Leo, this is the counterbalance of the Leo sun that was active during the total solar eclipse back in August. Although this is not an eclipse, it marks the halfway mark because we have up to this point had the total solar eclipse in August. Before that, the season started in earnest with a partial lunar eclipse at the beginning of August, whose moon was in Aquarius. And we have just had a partial solar eclipse whose moon was in Aquarius. But before that, there was a total lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses are always during the full moon. They are cleansing, purification moons. And solar eclipses pull shadows to show us what needs to be looked at. So just this past February 15th, just recently, 2 weeks ago, you might want to check out what Great Mother was saying to you about the shadows that were being pulled out for you. That moon was in Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Capricorn in the Sidereal, and Aquarius, Pisces in the Western. So it was pulling up shadows for us that had to do with that transition from the Aquarius to the Pisces age. Capricorn in the South Node in the Sidereal is a soul indication that now as we are moving into lighter, more soulful energies of Pisces and the Aquarius genius energy of individual expression, which is a higher expression than Leo, but in the South Node and the Western, it's a balancing of paying attention too much to this physical world and being able to relax in the reality of our divinity. If that sounds like a little bit too much, let's unwrap it here and let's talk a little bit more about the rainbow world in which we exist. It's full of planets, it's full of chakras that assist us in the centrifugal forces of these energies in our bodies that ground our soul energy here. What I'm going to do is pull a card for each sign. This is going to be an indication for you of how Great Mother is working with you this March full moon. This halfway mark has to do with this energy going more into self-expression, heart expression, and releasing the group on an ego level, and deeper going into the Cancer, Rahu, North Node level of using that individual expression to be more caring, to have more solidly grounded homes, solidly grounded mothering, self-care, and releasing the need for so much order and so much structure that is resisting or blocking our ability to do so. For your sign, there's going to be a different message that Great Mother comes to you about this particular halfway mark. Because as we move into the rest of the season, which ends in November, we have one more total lunar eclipse in July, and we have a partial solar eclipse in August, closing things out. Now, the season began in earnest back in May of 2017. What was happening for you 9 months ago? An eclipse season is 18 months, so we're at that 9-month mark. What was happening for you and perhaps to you May of last year? Collectively, Venus had just left Aries, and it had been in Aries back and forth with Pisces in retrograde for a couple of months. And when it finally left, a lot of us had come to a realization about some things that we perhaps had known, but the truth was going to take us some time to process, particularly in the areas of personal relationships and what our personal needs were. This was the entry point into this Cancer Leo North Node energy that started in earnest with the lunar eclipse at the beginning of August in Aquarius. What this means is that as the nodes shifted from Virgo Pisces, ordering our emotions into being clear about those emotions, and the purification, which opened up this eclipse season back in August, was purifying what was from the previous eclipse season that needed to be clarified in terms of our spirituality, in terms of our higher knowing, in terms of what we knew we needed in order to have internal balance. And so as this eclipse season opened, I want you to kind of think about where you were with that. Because now, since the shadows have been revealed and purified throughout this eclipse season, be sure to watch the first quarter video for this year, January through March, if you haven't been keeping up with what's going on, because the second quarter videos are about to be released for April through June. See what Great Mother was saying to you the beginning of this year with regard to where you are now. Because this reading, this halfway mark reading, is very important. It is the reflection of what the cleansing period has been coming up to this point of self-clarity, of self-desire, how to use that in mature and loving ways for yourself and for your home, which is the foundation of outward expression, that Aquarius energy, okay? With now the supportive energies being available for us to implement and to manifest our will from that foundation. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Hello, Aquarius, Pisces, Moon people. This is where the sun is right now. It is in Aquarius in the Sidereal and Pisces in the Western. So this is where your moon sign is. Pisces for the Western and Aquarius for the Sidereal. So that sunlight energy coming through your moon sign, that is a powerful yin-yang indication of the supportive energies to help you actually feel your divinity as a child of the Great Mother, Father, God, to help you know that as a result you were never judged or condemned, and to help you to confirm within yourself that you are never alone through your guides, angels, and ancestors. They help us to develop our intuition, develop our inner knowing about how to work with these supportive energies. And so that's why Great Mother's coming through to give us messages to know how to work with these energies and what they are helping us to evolve in. These energies for this Leo full moon for you, Pisces moon people, are in your 7th, 6th, 1st and 12th houses. It's a revisitation of the 6th and 12th house energies of the total lunar eclipse that happened on January 31st. And so maybe on an emotional level you're kind of feeling a reprieve or perhaps a revisitation of some emotional issues that came forward at that time. First, I want to give a overview reading of what the cards are saying, and then I want to go back through those those houses for you because they represent where Leo is, where the new moon was in February, which was in Capricorn Aquarius, and that very powerful full moon on January 31st in Cancer, Leo, in your 6th and 12th houses. This 6th and 12th house energy in Leo is being greeted by your collective celestial unconsciousness with a feeling of rebirth. Now, rebirth has to do with really resurrecting from the ashes. It has to do with recognizing that there is something that has passed that needs to be given up in order for the new to live, in order for the new, more bountiful life to come through. And that is clearly indicative of 12th house energy. 12th house energy is the last house in the wheel, and maybe this sunlight, this great father energy, of course, Leo is ruled by the sun, and that's great father energy, and the full moon reflects the light of the sun. So the sun in Aquarius Pisces is telling us that this rebirth and this regeneration happening in your 12th house is doing so on a major cyclical scale. It's more evolutionary on a soul level than 8th house energy. 8th house is more of a within a cycle rebirth, to bring up the energy within a cycle to another level. 12th house energy is associated with that alienation, that isolation, that imprisonment. Maybe you're hospitalized. Maybe you're in a situation where you're caring for someone else that creates a situation where you are not dealing with the public, or you're just isolated some way. But because of this experience, as is often the case when people are imprisoned or they're hospitalized for long periods of time, there's an internal growth, a regeneration that is really a soul evolution from one way of being to an entire new way of existing. And that is what is happening to you and for you right now with this full moon and this Leo, this rebirth card. What is being given up? Well, that's 6th house energy. Leo is in your 6th house right now. These readings are done with your moon sign in the collective consciousness being the 1st house. If you would like a more precise reading, please do schedule one for your particular moon sign, because it may be in a different house. Your moon sign might actually be in your 7th or your 8th or your 12th house, which would change the reading as well as your nodal aspects. But generally, there is a release within your collective celestial unconsciousness of one way of being into another, and one way of being as it relates to your work-life balance. Okay, maybe you used to take care of the kids, and so now you are going back to work, so that's being renegotiated with your partner or with someone else to help support you in that transition. Maybe you have been dealing with a health situation and being isolated, and maybe you are wanting to shift the energy in your life right now so that you are taking more control of your health, and you are trying alternative methods of self-care, of self-medication. Maybe you're looking into second and third opinions at this particular time. You've gone through a journey, and you are reaching out, if not to other people, you are expanding your own view of yourself. You're getting more details about how you can live more fully, and you're expressing that, if to no one else, to yourself. You're giving yourself permission to live again. What Great Mother is saying is that the transformational opportunity being offered to you as a result of this is a surrender. you are surrendering to this process. And if you are not surrendering to this process, then the transformative opportunity is for you to do so in order for you to be resurrected in the way that you're envisioning yourself to be. Remember, this is a climactic time. We are 9 months in the 18 months eclipse season. So at this point, it is about the Leo energy. We are willing it to manifest what we want as a result of what we've learned thus far in the eclipse season. So this is presuming that we are working, that we have been working with these energies in a way that will support us to divinely express who we are, what we are at this time in our lives. Kind of a real-time catch-up. That's what 12th house energy helps us do. It's not isolation because it's just, bad luck or good luck. Some people like to be isolated. It is about taking the time to integrate what has been learned over a particular evolutionary period. What Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook is that things are coming together for you, that even though it may seem at the moment that they're not, that what you are wanting to will into existence may be a long shot, and you have been working towards this through your period of isolation. What she's saying is that through surrender, if you've already been surrendering, well then things are coming together for you, and you're starting to see results of that. If you haven't yet been surrendering, and surrendering, as we see here with the Yemiyak card, is a heart chakra first quarter moon card, and so this has to do with making a decision to take an action and face a challenge, and the challenge for you being that rebirth energy, being wanting to resurrect yourself from the ashes, and what's coming together for you as a result of making the decision to allow the process to take place. It takes time to integrate, thus the alienation and isolation, and that might feel uncomfortable to you. And so Great Mother's coming through, and she's acknowledging that. She's acknowledging that you may be feeling that way, and she's saying, don't dismay, dear one. This full moon in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun rules the third chakra. Okay, it's heart chakra energy, it's third chakra energy, it's that heart above energy that says things are coming together. And remember, with the heart above energy, it is unseen, it is very high frequency energy that has not materialized yet. Everything is in the spirit before it is materialized into form. And so it has come together in the spiritual, and if it is still not materialized in form yet, Great Mother is saying it will be, and it will be lickety split. I mean, right after the full moon is the waning gibbous moon card, and this is the card that follows the synthesis card in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck. We have Dorothy, and she is being told that the balloon is not going to get you to Kansas, but yet and still that third eye knows, even though the full moon illumination was that you've come all this way and you've gotten the broom, you're not going back, but the inner eye knows that things are coming together. And right after that, the waning gibbous moon, right after the full moon, she clicks her heels 3 times. Great Mother comes through, and that inner knowing into the physical form. And so you will feel her, you will sense her, you will hear her. There will be a song, there will be something someone says, and it will be your figurative clicking your heels 3 times, and you will be home. You will be reborn into your new self. This is all intuitive, emotional energy. It is the lunar energy that inspires our action. of the sun sign. Our sun sign is our soul personality. The moon sign is the emotional state. From the Western astrology is telling us that Western energy for you, Pisces people, is that sixth house energy. And so needing to feel that balance, needing to feel better health-wise, needing to get more details about what it is that you need in order for things to come together for you at this particular time. But on a soul level, it's seventh house energy, and so you are intuiting that what's really important for those things to come to you and for things to happen for you is for you to be very clear and very careful about the commitments that you make to other people, the contracts, how you are balancing your energies with other people, how you are approaching your last stages of this particular phase of your life as you enter into a new phase. Because for you, you do have some first house energy that was activated during the total lunar eclipse, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But before we do, the shadows that are active for you right now as you center and get ready to click your heels 3 times from the messages that you're going to get about how to transform through this rebirth is a need to embrace your shadow. That is your shadow position card. So embracing the shadow card is all about accepting who you are. And so there may be some trepidation about accepting where you are and who you are at this stage of your life. You are integrating a lot in terms of what you've learned over the last year, particularly since May and August, if you kind of think back. And the rebirth process started for you in earnest then. And so since then, there's been a lot of cleansing, a lot of purification, a lot of revelations have come since the natural disasters. That was big for you. There have been some issues that have come up with regard to your home. And so you've learned a lot about what you need in terms of your work-life balance, in terms of the details in your life and what makes your life tick and what makes a good balance for you. And so you are intuiting on a soul level that new relationships, maybe you're considering marriages, maybe you're considering business partnerships or projects, really need to integrate your real-time wisdom about what works for you and what doesn't work for you personally and professionally. Okay? Because in the shadow position, Great Mother's saying, accept, embrace your shadow, embrace those things that in the past, before you've come to this evolutionary integration state, that maybe you were ashamed of. You know, maybe you were one of these people that really does need to sleep until 10 a.m. And that was something that you were ashamed of, for example, you know, health, that's directly related to health and work. But now you've realized that, you know, you work best at night, in the night hours, and you're most productive, you're most creative. Again, that Leo will coming through, these energies supporting that. Go ahead and tell yourself the truth about what may have in the past been perceived as something that you would be ashamed of, even something as small as that. But when we have these idiosyncrasies, sometimes they're really difficult to resolve within ourselves. And Great Mother saying that the energies are supporting you to embrace that at this time. How you're dancing with this is by awakening to the reality of what these idiosyncrasies are. You are just becoming really aware of them through this period of reflection and this period of taking a beat away from the group and from groupthink long enough to get your bearings about really what it is that makes you tick. And the awakening card is a gut chakra crescent moon card that is saying that you are trusting what your gut is telling you so that you can plant solid, healthy, sound seed moving forward. Great Mother's saying that with this gut chakra, what needs to be released is a reluctance to just following your path. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes when we come through an evolutionary phase, we have worked so hard, we think things need to be a certain way. We've established certain expectations about what should happen or what should occur or what should meet us at the end, when in actuality, we are simply integrating lessons in order for our soul to evolve that we may not always understand. So just like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, when she was leaving Munchkin Land, she didn't know exactly where she was going, but she did know that Great Mother, symbolized by Glinda the Good Witch, was worthy of her trust and told her that she needed to follow this road. And so Great Mother is telling you that whatever is blocking your passage to following your gut, to trusting that you know where to go in this waning gibbous moon card, which is about Thanksgiving and sharing. So being thankful about what you're here to share through your rebirth, whatever's blocking that gratitude, she's saying, release it. Let it go, because your rebirth is worthy to not only be celebrated, but it is a divine expression that is worthy in and of its own existence. So honor that and follow your yellow brick road. What's going to really support you in doing that with this Leo full moon is the energy of Akhenaten. Akhenaten, the first planetary ruler to institute the worship of the one God, wasn't very popular with the groupthink of the priesthood. In fact, he was kicked out of Thebes and had to go to a whole new place, Ankara, to create a whole new kingdom. And he was pretty isolated. He was pretty left alone. This is a Great Father card. It's a law card. It's the law of mystery and divine order. Again, we don't always understand, do we? But we don't have to. All we have to do is know. Just like Akhenaten, he knew that he was here to institute the worship of the one God. That's a Yang card. All Great Father law cards are Yin-Yang cards. And so Yang is that energy, that power to activate things, to initiate life on the planet. And so initiate that new life as you are reflecting in this 12th house energy of this Aquarius sun. And Aquarius is ruled by the root chakra. Okay, the root chakra is very powerful Yang energy. Again, initiating life energy through the root. That root comes through the DNA. Okay, of course, the second chakra is where the procreation occurs to bring that DNA forward. But if we're talking about 12th house energy and the third quarter moon card for you, we're talking about releasing and letting go of things. That's that 12th house energy again, letting go of those blockages that keep you from that divine expression. This Akhenaten card is beneath the Gildeptis card, and so we have third eye energy, things coming together above the Akhenaten card. And so we know that whatever you're creating is coming from that Great Mother energy, from this full moon, from what's coming together for you. And what's coming together for you, the outcome is this self-doubt that you're having right now. By working with these energies, can and will be transformed to self-creation. That is the rebirth. Remember in the beginning we were talking about how this is a revisitation of the total lunar eclipse energies, those 6th and 12th house energies. Well, at that time, the moon was in Cancer Leo for the full moon. And for you, as with everyone else in a total lunar eclipse, it's a purification. And so there was a purification that happened for you with regard to your work-life balance, your health. Maybe you had a particularly bad flu season. Okay, maybe you because the flute is a form of purification. It's a bodily cleanse, okay? It's a biochemical cleanse that the body does. What doesn't kill us does make us stronger. And that was an example this flu season, boy, wasn't it? And so if during that time, a month ago, that is what you were experiencing or something similar to that, with that light of the sun and Capricorn Aquarius, that root chakra, south node energy being pulled, being released. Okay, this is first quarter, actions, decisions, facing the challenge of self-doubt. So we are still releasing shadows from what came next, which was the solar eclipse. Solar eclipses bring up shadows, and then the lunar eclipses come to cleanse and purify. That's the third quarter, letting go, releasing. So this energy from the total lunar eclipse is still working with you to cleanse away this self-doubt with 12th house energy, to bring these things to, so that you can center and refocus in real time with where you are now, because you are being reborn into a new person. Because the partial solar eclipse was 12th and first house energy, where those shadows came up. And so that is a prelude to the remainder of this eclipse season for you. That 12th and first house energy in Capricorn Aquarius, okay, moon, the Sidereal Capricorn, the Western Aquarius, it was Aquarius Pisces cusp, okay, that's how it's 12th and first house energy. It's a prelude for you for the rest of the eclipse season. So you are going to bump from that 12th house to first house, and you're going to actually be reborn as a new person during this eclipse season. So by November, you won't recognize the person that you are now. Continue working with these energies. That's the overall energy. That is how these 6th and 12th house energies are working with you. And this is what Great Mother wants you to know in terms of moving forward with this North Node energy in Leo, with 6th house issues, cleaning house at home, work-life balance, expressing your creativity in ways that help you to do that, and embracing who you are in the process. Because who you are now is only a shadow of who you will be. Again, thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Atar.